Hey everybody, Christopher Naiman back for another demonstration video. You know I love my threads when I sew, and I love collecting threads. Well, here is a stash of threads that I purchased in the early 2000s. I want to talk a little bit about it and demonstrate it. So stay with me. I will be right back. Okay, welcome back everybody. So, I used to teach quilting classes. Yes, don't have a heart attack. I did used to teach quilting. I have nothing against quilting. I just think that we could be productive also by making garments and other type of upholstery and other things for the home, because we actually rely in the United States too much on ready-to-wear made by cheap slave labor overseas. And whatever, I encourage everyone, whatever you can do on your part, make one garment a month to at least show that you are boycotting the way the people are treated overseas. Okay? So that's my spiel on that. You do what you want in your own good heart and your own faith and your own soul. All right? But one garment a month is not going to kill you, but that one garment a month could kill that slave labor overseas of the way they're treated. Okay, so let's get back to what this video is about. All right, so I bought these in the early 2000s when I was teaching my quilting classes, and I absolutely love them. You see the sheen they have? Look at that freaking sheen. And the colors are so rich and intense. Well, I bought these at Joann Fabrics. I went back there last week and they didn't have any more. Sad, I know, really. I was like so upset. And I have my favorite color, which I have in here, this purple and olive. Oh, it was just gorgeous. But anyway, so you can see that this is called Signature. It was a brand that A&E Thread made. It's called Pixels. I went online, they still make it, but Joann's just doesn't carry it anymore. Now, here's that denim thread, that denim fabric from my old jeans. I'm getting a lot of use out of this. You know, I'm getting a lot of pieces from jeans, you know? And I have a few old pair of jeans that I didn't give away, I'm keeping to use. And you can even, you know, there are some people out there that got books on making tote bags out of used denim. I think Janet Prey even has one. And I know Janet Prey is on one of my sewing groups, and I love Janet. Janet teaches industrial methods of sewing, and she's on Craftsy. That's my plug for her because I love her dearly. Her aunt, Margaret, from Islander Sewing, taught me industrial methods of sewing and changed my life. It will change your life in front of the sewing machine as well. And as you can see, every one of my sewing machines has an extension table. Okay? I don't know how anyone can sew and sew as a profession, or sew professionally, or want to charge prices to teach people non-professional sewing. Who in the hell is going to pay for non-professional sewing? If you're going to pay money to attend a class, don't you want to learn to sew professionally the proper way? I do, and I learned that in the 90s, and that's what I teach. And every one of my students, when I'm teaching, is required to have an extension table. And I know if you can't even afford it, I put blogs. I have blogs up showing you how to make your own. Okay? All right, let's move on. So, I have a lot to talk about, don't I? Well, I haven't preached for a few days, so, you know, I'm in a preaching mood here. All right, so let's just test a little bit of this thread out. So what do I want to do? Well, I'm on my Janome right now, and let's see. Let's just do a satin stitch. Let's do one of these satin stitches. Let's do the my favorite here, 76. So this is a size 30, as you can see on the spool of thread. It says size 30. Okay, which means it's a thicker thread. All right, so let me just do that. What was that stitch? 76. So let me plug in 76, and let's just sew it out at the preset stitch width and length here. You can see the width on this machine is 9.0. This is a 9mm wide machine, and the stitch length I have it preset is 0.4. Sometimes when I'm using construction thread, different colors of construction thread, I have to knock that down sometimes to 0.1 so I have better density. So let's see what this does right now. Let's just give it a shot. Oh, and in my bobbin, I have finishing touch bobbin embroidery thread. What I love about these types of threads is that they really give you a pop of color on top of like black fabric. That's what I love so much. Alright, let me do a lock stitch there to finish the end of it. That's another thing I like about this machine, is that when you press this button, it ties off, it goes to the end of a pattern design, finishes off and ties it off. Okay, now let's see how this looks. How's that look? Not bad. not bad at all. Let's try 0.3 and see what it looks like at 0.3. All right, let me knock this down to 0.3, and let's give it a shot. Oh, and like that Gutermann thread test I showed you earlier, it was a fluke because I had another yellow spool of thread from the Gutermann batch I had. I had another yellow spool of thread, and I ran that. Not a problem on this one. So it was just a bad spool of thread, okay? And just watch where they're made. And everybody was saying something on my website or on my YouTube channel. Oh, well, you know, you got to make sure it's made in Germany or blah, blah. Well, they are made in Germany. The ones that I'm demonstrating, I explain where they're made. This one is Germany. So, okay, let's go to this one, made in Japan. Signature, made in Japan. A&E. You know, A&E is a company out of North Carolina, right? Or is it South Carolina? One of those places. But I don't think they're making thread there anymore. I mean, they did. And I don't understand why they have to go out of the country. I really don't. All right. With all the automated machines they have today, I mean, they can have a couple workers making this stuff and at least employ a few people in America instead of no people at all. So, the variegated is just very, very beautiful. Okay, it's taking longer because I have a shorter stitch length. I have that stitch length of 0.3, so it's taking longer to form that stitch. But I'll have a tighter density. See, I like a tight density stitch for decorative sewing. That's just me. Plus, with a thicker thread, it gives it a raised look, so it has more of a 3D appearance. All right, let's tie that off and see. All right, let's look. That's beautiful. It's as beautiful today as the day I discovered this thread. And you see the sheen? Let me see if I can. Do you see that sheen? Beautiful, just beautiful. Love that sheen. So, anyway, if you all have this thread and you're using it, give me a thumbs up and if you like it, because I loved it. I loved it, and I don't. I should start using some more of this for my decorative stitching. But you know, it's kind of like a collection. You know, it's like, oh boy, do I really want to use my thread and get rid of it? Well, give me an excuse to buy more, right? We always need an excuse to buy thread, don't we? Take care, everybody. Talk to you later on my next video. Bye. Hi, everybody. Christopher Neiman. Well, this is part 3 of the Gutermann test, and I found some more yellow thread. I've got a lot more yellow thread. This spool here is the one that gave me problems originally. And then there's 2 yellow spools there. Then I've got one more up here. And I'm doing some decorative stitching again, testing this as I'm sewing. And so far there is no fuzz buildup on the foot like on the first spool. So it's pretty apparent that the thread that I had a problem with, the first yellow thread, there was just something wrong with that spool. It's a mystery to me, but I've sewed this whole length of this to test, and I have not had any fuzzies on the foot. So this is good news. You know, in every brand you're going to get probably a flaw or maybe thread that was in a bad condition or something, or you know, do you ever, I guess an analogy would be, do you make pancakes? And do you ever notice when you put the first pancake on the frying pan, it never really turns out right, but the pancakes after that, well, maybe the yellow was the first batch that was bad and they just didn't pull it, they left it in there. Who knows? Who knows? But I've been finding all kinds of you know, looking at these brands, this Gutermann, like if you in this picture, you'll see I even found one in my collection made in Brazil. So I've got thread here from all over the freaking world. Yet to find one made in USA, though. But you know, one can only keep hoping that we'll have the companies come to USA. Anyway, so that's it. Just want to give you an update. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being a part of this journey with me. And like I said, you know, every brand thread is great, but you know, we discovered that there might be one bad thread in a bunch, but that doesn't mean the whole line of the whole brand is bad. So remember that. Okay? Take care, everybody. Bye now.